Hello.
So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Borderlands 3 video, and today we are updating GT-Shorty to GT-Shorty 2.0. Guys, you may have recognized this build from Ultimate Vault Hunter episode on the official Borderlands channel. This is the build that can absolutely crush any content in the game, and you don't actually use a single bullet. You have a ton of survivability. In fact, I'd say it's pretty hard to actually kill yourself. Guys, if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week. Otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So first of all, what I'm going to say about this is that in terms of when the 4th skill trees came out, there are only 3-point changes that we are going to pick up in terms of what this was previously around DLC 4. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pause on each skill tree for a few seconds just while I talk over the basics, but I'm not going to go through each individual skill because by now most of us know these skill trees back to front. The important things in the blue tree are obviously Fire in the Skag's Den, Stainless Steel Bear, and then all the way down to Short Fuse. I have actually got 3 points from my class mod in Means of Destruction just for reference, and we're using the Vanquisher pods in the blue tree. In the red tree, we're going to have 5 points into Armored Infantry and then 3 points into Drowning in Brass. Just for reference as well, guys, this is where we took out the points to go into the purple tree, but we'll cover that in just a second. In terms of the green tree then, the big ones here, obviously we're going to go all the way down to the capstone for Forge. This will mean we will absolutely never run out of ammo, ever. Then Specialist Bear, for when we are in Iron Bear, we are still going to be able to do a ton of damage, which is really, really nice. I have 2 points from my class mod here in the Iron Bank, but I do really like that extra magazine size, which does help with ammo regen when you are using smaller magazine weapons, for example. Finally then, we are onto the new skill tree, and you see here that I've only picked up 3 points into Big Surplus, and this is because it's boosting Fire in the Skag's Den, funnily enough. So we are getting extra damage. I'm going to be honest, we probably didn't need extra damage, but if it's there for just 3 points, why not take it? So in terms of weaponry then, I have updated the save file. All these new arms race items will be available in the actual save file, which is linked into the description below through the Discord link. Make sure you get in there. There's over 3,000 people in there now ready to help you out with weapons, guides, anything like that. In terms of the weaponry, again, just like the previous version of GT-Shorty, the anointment we want to be looking for is next to magazines. This will give us elemental coverage like you wouldn't believe. So take for example this Dark Army. We have a cryo with next to max radiation. Add into the fact that Moze already does incendiary through her magazines anyway with Fire in the Skag's Den, and you have that lovely concoction of elements mixed through, which means that you do not really have to switch weapons ever, and all you need to worry about is how long your finger's going to hurt because you're holding down the trigger. I've also included a Tizzy here, which is a perfect roll. The ×2 actually works a little bit better as well with Moze. It stops it from overheating as much. Of course, this wouldn't be Moze without the flipper. This flipper is my favorite one. I do like a radiation cryo one as well, which I will try and include in the file. This is just the one that I like to go to. And then the plasma core works really, really well for damage. We can kill Tron in 2 or 3 bursts, which is pretty nice. And most other mobs just get absolutely destroyed. I tend to use the flipper more than I use the plasma core, and that is because of the class mod. Now the class mod is a new sapper that I've managed to find. As you can see here, it's exceptionally good. Now the way that Moze's sapper com works is that you will gain 12% lifesteal the longer she holds down the fire button. This is the only source of healing that we are going to be using in this build. Everything else in the trees is spec for damage. So when you're holding down the trigger for the plasma core, you have that little bit of burst in between, and it's a little bit inconsistent how it heals you. However, if you're just holding down the trigger with everything else that isn't burst, you will just never run out of ammunition, which you never can die. As you can see from the footage here, while we're fighting this Kraken, our health is actually going down sometimes, but we're immediately resetting that back to full using the sapper. So it's really actually difficult, as long as you're firing at an enemy, to get yourself killed. Of course, we're going to be using a pearl here for the extra magazine size, which is really nice. And I do have a level 1 cloning managing tracker, which means we get the on grenade thrown bonus, but we're also not killing ourselves. Just a point to note, you can actually change this grenade for whatever you want. We're not using the grenade for healing. I'm using it for on grenade thrown because I have it. But if you have another grenade that you might prefer, then please go for it. The final thing that we're going to talk about is this madcap. Now, this madcap shield that we have here has a plus 80% capacity because it had a double turtle roll, and it does have a booster that restores shield, so it is pretty nice. And action skill and shock. So the way that the gameplay loot is going to be working is that once we have jumped into Iron Bear once, we will never really need to jump into Iron Bear again, unless you find yourself in trouble or you just fancy jumping to Iron Bear. Just a point to note, you will actually do a ton of damage while in Iron Bear because, let's face it, it's Iron Bear. But the way that it works is you are going to come out and then you're going to have your next 2 mags anointment, and because you're never going to reload, you're going to have that permanently and everything's going to die. Other things that I will include in the save file, I do have this lovely boogeyman here. There is a critical thug and a hotfoot teddy, all next to magazines, which is the perfect anointment here. I will also include the standard ultra and the transformer. The ultra's got a pretty nice roll on it as well, which will increase your shields when you jump in and out of Iron Bear. So guys, like I said before, the save file will be included in the Discord. Please feel free to join. It doesn't cost you a thing to join. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel as well. It's really helping my channel grow and I really do appreciate it. And otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoy the build and I'll catch you on the flip.